spies goodbye.
It is time to say hello and welcome back, guys, to my last trailer breakdown, my last synopsis breakdown for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the last one ever. But what a long, strange trip it has been. It's been 7 years since we watched that premiere of the series, September or October 2013, and now we're in August 2020 and watching the series finale. It's a very sad moment for me. I'm actually dreading creating this video because it means I'm one video closer to the end of the series, not because of the videos, but rather because of the series. But alright though, let's start off by watching this trailer, and then we could go nuts breaking it down and theorizing on what could be theorized on. Let's go.
This is the last mission together, isn't it?
You're too late. The war is over, and you've lost.
Get ready!
Now! This is what we were fighting for.
Okay, so the first thing is the empty bar. That's the speakeasy from the first episodes of the season. So even though Patton Oswalt, the guy who portrayed the many Koenigs over the years on the series, is not listed as a guest star for this episode, I'm still hoping he would be a surprise guest star. And it's not so far-fetched. I mean, not the first time, or wouldn't be the first time, that they haven't announced a certain guest star, and yet we found him showing up. The synopsis of the 100th episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did not have Mike Peterson listed, but he did show up regardless. Deathlok did show up on the 100th episode of the series. But okay though, we can talk about this screenshot for a while, but I'm gonna jump to the next scene and then revert back to this one, so keep this one in mind, because there will be certain comments as to this specific moment out of the trailer, certain theories. I'm not in agreement with these theories, even though anything is possible, because I haven't watched the episode, I did not write the episode, but however, I don't think that one theory works out. Anyway, let's talk about the next scene first. But okay, there's Daisy asking, this is our last mission together, isn't it? Now the thing about that question is that we've got to expect certain drama incoming on the upcoming episode, tearjerker moments to be more precise, and this is going to be started by Daisy. Coulson is going to have his emotional moments, especially with Daisy, because that father-daughter relationship and whatnot, you can tell over here. This is that moment out of season 5 when she realized that Coulson was dying. All the tears, all the pain, all of those things that were tear-jerkers in that particular episode. This same kind of thing that was a tear-jerker on the 11th episode of this season with Daisy and Mac. The conversation on the Quinjet.
You guys are my family. I don't know who I am without you guys.
Daisy.
No, there's nothing without you.
Come here.
But okay, that said, let's revert back to that first screenshot, the empty bar or the empty speakeasy. Now the thing about that emptiness, as some people are theorizing, it is possible or might be possible that this is about the final scene of the season. They're gonna jump one last time far enough into the future and probably as well across dimensions, like to a different timeline, the original MCU timeline, and that's when the snap is gonna be addressed, like they're gonna be all snapped out of there, and that's why the speakeasy is empty. Now once again, I'm gonna say that's a possibility, nothing is impossible, but the truth is, I don't want for that to be the ending. I don't want the last moment we watch this series to be about watching this team get snapped out of existence just because of this mere notion that we need the series to tie in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think the series standalone is great. I don't think it needs to tie in with anything. I think that this series needs to close its story in the best way possible and without having to feed into something that is at the very best born out of silliness. I mean, in that case, we'd be choosing to have a crap ending for this season, the final season, not know how these people are gonna go on with their lives because we just wanted to tie in, rather than getting a satisfying ending. I want that satisfying ending. We've seen the snap, we know how it's resolved, and honestly, I don't give a rat's ass anymore about whether or not they address it on the series. As a matter of fact, I don't want that to be the ending of the series. But another situation though about this thing with the speakeasy is think about Friends, for example. The final trailers of Friends back in the day when they showed Monica's apartment empty, like we're saying goodbye to these people. Think about it this way as well. All of these guys are gonna say goodbye to one another. They're gonna go their separate ways, their own ways. And this moment on the trailer, this emptiness to this place is all about signifying that, all about indicating that separation, that parting ways bit. It's gonna be like a moment ago, all of these guys were here together, and then the next moment, they're no longer here, they're no longer together, everyone has gone to do his own thing, to live his own life, or well, to get dismantled, because that's what I'm expecting when it comes to Coulson, but that's all about the predictions for the finale. But circling back to that scene with Daisy, asking if this were their last mission together. She's still in that denial phase, hoping she would get a different answer than the one that she got an episode before from Mac. You could see sadness on the faces of everyone, so pretty much get your tissues ready, because episode 13 is going to be a tearjerker, if not both episodes actually, 12 and 13. But the next scene though sees the Zephyr being beamed up to the Chronicom spaceship. The Quinjet is also on the Zephyr's back. So I'm assuming over here that the team either got back the Zephyr from Nathaniel, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, there's that fight with Daisy close to the end of the trailer, Nathaniel v Daisy, and it both doesn't seem like something they would do on board of the Zephyr or something that they would do in a very close space, very small space. So no, that option is kind of out of the question. The other option over here is that the Quinjet is only latching on until it gets up into the Chronicom spaceship in order to save Jemma and Deke and in order to take back the Zephyr. But you're too late, the war is over, and you've lost. That's pretty much Sybil taking a victory lap after destroying S.H.I.E.L.D. on the 11th episode of the season, because from their perspective you cannot go to S.H.I.E.L.D. and try to get their help, try to convince them that there's some robots from outer space trying to invade this planet. You cannot foil our plans by pulling what you pulled with Rick Stoner in 1976, getting him all convinced of all of this and getting his help. But it seems though that the big part of this season's budget has been saved for the final few episodes. Someone mentioned that in the comments early on in the season, and it seems to be true. We're seeing a lot of CGI with the characters, Nathaniel, Yo-Yo, and Daisy. We're seeing a lot of CGI when it comes to the space battle, the space part of the equation. We're seeing work with all of this in a magnitude that we've not seen on the earlier episodes of the season. Gotta say though, hats off to the VFX supervisor on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Mark Kolpak, and his team for the work done on these few episodes, the final few episodes. But alright though, this next part is common between the promotional photos and the trailer, so not spoilery. If you've watched the trailer, we know that Deke is gonna make it out of his imprisonment. That's pretty clear from these scenes. We know that the fight is gonna come to the lighthouse as well. That's pretty clear from the Yo-Yo scene. She's fighting within the lighthouse. We know that the Zephyr is going to be taken back by the team. That's pretty obvious from May piloting the Zephyr. So yeah, they're going to use the Zephyr to attack the Chronicoms. I'm assuming here that before latching on to Zephyr 1, Mac is either going to go back, get the team, and then take over the Zephyr, or he's basically gonna latch on, take over the Zephyr, take it back, and possibly they're gonna take the attack to outer space, to the Chronicoms, or even better, they might take the attack to the Chronicoms when they bring their ships over to Earth. But like I said though, a good Quake versus an evil Quake. I'm not gonna call him Quake because that pisses off a lot of people, but you get what I mean. I've always expected since the beginning of the season that Nathaniel is definitely destined to face off with Daisy. Now, one thing I'm going to talk about in detail on the predictions video, I'm thinking the one that might end up killing this guy does not happen to be Daisy. She's not the one who's going to defeat him once and for all, but rather Cora. Daisy's going to do a lot of damage probably, but I think Cora, she's going to be the one to take him down once and for all. But once again though, gonna be one hell of a fight between these two, Daisy and Nathaniel, and I'm thinking Daisy's powers are gonna shine massively on this episode. Looking forward to that actually. But okay, this is your second spoiler alert because we are about to talk the synopsis of the finale. So without wasting any time, the header of the finale reads the end or the beginning. It's a question basically. The 2-hour Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series finale airs Wednesday, August 12th. And the Casticar returns for the final mission. Fan favorites Brianna Venskis, Maximilian Osinski, Coy Stewart, and Joel Stauffer to make special appearances. I think that's the spoilery bit, all the names that are going to be returning for the final episode of the season. So we've got Piper, we've got Daviiz, and we've got Flint, and these are all names that people have been asking about, and we're about to get our answers. We've also got Fitz, so Fitz is returning for the final mission, not the final episode, but rather the final mission, which does confirm that Fitz is alive, like I've been saying all the time. So the blood work, as I mentioned on my review video, even before this was released, was not really about Fitz. It was always about Jemma and her pregnancy. But there's the part about the end or the beginning. I think the statement is as simple as the end of something is the beginning of something else. Not another series in this case, but of course the beginning of the future for these guys. A different future, not one with S.H.I.E.L.D., for the majority of them at least, but nonetheless the beginning of the future, a future where the Chronicoms are defeated, and a future in which one of them, or more than one of them, are gonna go back and build S.H.I.E.L.D., and a possible future in which we could see one of these characters, possibly Daisy, join up with S.W.O.R.D. So yeah, that's one thing we're all looking forward to or hoping for, even though that's not been announced, that's all a rumor, and nothing of that kind of stuff is confirmed. Chloe Bennett herself did mention on Twitter before that the only place she's heard about that kind of news is on social media. She herself did not get any wind of her being cast in one of those series, a S.W.O.R.D. series or a S.W.O.R.D. movie, something that has got to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But okay though, the body of the combined synopsis for both episodes. The end is at hand and what we're fighting for. These are the titles of both episodes. We do hear Coulson saying the words, this is what we're fighting for. So pretty much this is about what Coulson says on the episode. This is also about the fact that Coulson is probably explaining we're not doing this for S.H.I.E.L.D., for the existence of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're doing it more for mankind, more for the safety of the people that we've always aimed at protecting, be it with S.H.I.E.L.D. or not, in the existence of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not. But there's also the other part, the end is at hand. The end is at hand in so many ways. The end of the series is at hand. The end of the world as we know it, if the Chronicom plan succeeds, is at hand as well. So yeah, it's a mix of this and that. Because once again, may I remind you, the finale title of Season 5 was The End because it was supposed to be a series finale prior to the series being renewed for a Season 6, so The End is at hand kind of complements that. The end of the series is at hand at this moment. But okay though, the rest of the body of the synopsis, with their backs against the wall and Nathaniel and Sybil edging ever closer to eliminating S.H.I.E.L.D. from the history books, the agents must rely on their strength to outsmart and outlast the Chronicoms. This is their most important fight, and it will take the help of friends and teammates, past and present, to survive. Okay, so there isn't much really to read into this, except for the fact that even though they've destroyed all those S.H.I.E.L.D. bases on the 11th episode, there is still room, as per the synopsis, to outlast and outsmart the Chronicoms, to maneuver their actions. The synopsis starts with stating that they are close to eliminating S.H.I.E.L.D. from the history books, but they haven't really eliminated S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. So there's definitely still some room to be able to kind of turn this entire situation around. But okay, the part about teammates past and present, I think the present is referring to the people that joined them along the way. The team members that have been there since the beginning of this season, and also a character like Daniel Sousa, characters that they picked along the way, characters that exist in their present, but also past teammates. Teammates that have been part of their previous operations that they've been missing this entire season, like Piper, Daviiz, Flint as well. I mean, in the end, Flint did help them in that future arc. But okay though, that leaves us with a guest starring list on the synopsis, and we've got two separate lists, one for each hour of the finale. For the first hour, the end is at hand. The guest stars are Tamara Taylor, who plays Sybil, Thomas E. Sullivan, who plays Nathaniel Malick, Diane Don, who plays Cora, James Paxton, who portrays the younger version of John Garrett, Enver Yokai, who portrays the role of Daniel Sousa, and finally, Stephen Bishop and Bill Cobbs. Now these two are first-timers on the series, so I'm not really sure what to think about them over here. I mean, I have speculations, but there's nothing set in stone, so I'm gonna say this. Number one, it is possible that Stephen Bishop is basically the uncle that raised them, Mac and his brother. However though, when I think of that, I start thinking the other guy over here, Stephen Bishop, could probably be Mac's brother. There's a certain resemblance between both actors, so it is possible. But speaking though of actors resembling other actors, there's also number two. The possibility that we're gonna meet an older man Mac, like a flash forward into the future after they retire, and that's gonna be Bill Cobb's, and the possibility that Stephen Bishop is actually gonna be son to none other than Alfonso Mackenzie in the future, a grown-up son. But that's a little bit far-fetched in my opinion, but I'm not discarding it as of yet. But okay though, the guest starring for the other hour, the second hour, what we're fighting for, Joel Stauffer, that's Enoch, Thomas E. Sullivan, that's Nathaniel Malick, Diane Doan, that's Cora. James Paxton is not there, so his role is over by the end of the first hour of the finale. Brianna Venskus is there, so Piper, Stephen Bishop, that's the character that we talked about from the previous episode, so that kind of explains why I don't think that second theory is possible, even though I'm still keeping our options open. Maximilian Ozinski, aka Agent Daviiz, Coy Stewart, aka Flint, Tamara Taylor, who portrays Sybil, and finally Enver Yokai, who portrays Agent Sousa. So yeah, out of 4 returning members and friends of S.H.I.E.L.D. from previous seasons, we expect to see Fitz both hours, but not the other 3. The other 3, Flint, Daviiz, and Piper, we only expect to see them on the second hour. With that said though, I'm not gonna talk about the promotional photos on this video. I wanted to discuss them on this video, but they're quite spoilery. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna upload another video with my predictions for the series finale, and then at the end of that video, I'm gonna give you ample spoiler alert, and then I'm gonna talk about those photos. In the meanwhile though, and until that video comes to life on my channel, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this trailer, what you think is going to go down on the finale of the series. Let me know as well if you did like this video by dropping it one of those much appreciated likes, subscribing to this channel, and make sure while you're at it to enable notifications in order to get updates whenever I upload a new video, publish a new community post, or start a new live stream. Until the next time though that you tune in for another one of my videos, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into this one, stay safe, and have a great day.